All right, what's up, all you dogs? What's up, all you players? It's me. I'm back with another video. First time in a while. I turned the camera on to make a video. And it's going to be another record mash, okay? We're going to be sitting here. We're going to be hanging out. We're going to be talking about records. It's basically one of my favorite things to do. So, and I got quite a lot of stuff to get through because I've expanded my collection considerably since the last video. So yeah, it should be fun. It might be a long video, so strap in if you're down to hang. And you know, I'm down to hang straight up. I got my Nails t-shirt on, okay? I got my Nails t-shirt is tucked in to my camo pants. All right, I got the corn beanie on. Like, I'm truly ready to rock right now, okay? Like, I'm fucking unstoppable at the moment. But you know, since I'm in my I'm finally back in my usual space. You know, I've kind of been away from my usual space for a little while. But now I'm back in my home turf. I'm back in my actual bedroom for the first time in a while. So I'm going to go ahead and light a little candle to mark the occasion. Because I can do that, you know. Fuck it. Let's light a second one. Let's light this big one, too. Good God. Good God. Sick. Alright, hopefully we don't burn the place down. But yeah, it's gonna be a total candle mash right there. Alright, so first off, I should probably address the elephant in the room a little bit. I did get a haircut. Not gonna show it to you right now, but it is short. I have mixed feelings about it, all right? I might take the corn beanie off later on, just, you know, in case it gets too hot or whatever, but, like, just be prepared, because it looks pretty different. I have mixed feelings about it. I kind of feel like the way I've been explaining it to my friends is I feel like I've diminished my power level considerably after getting this haircut. Like, it feels good. I like the feeling of the short hair, but I just like the look. I feel like the long hair kind of completes my look, as it were. But anyway, it's all good. It's gonna grow back, so I'm not really that concerned about it. But yeah, just wanted to throw that out there in case you're like, why do you look different? You know, nobody cares, but like, just in case you do, there you go. There's your answer. Okay, so, you know, I very recently got back into collecting albums, right? Collecting CDs. So I've been digging through some of my old stuff because I do have a lot of older CDs from back in the day that that I just bought years and years ago, and I just totally forgot about them. They were like, you know, just in a box somewhere in my apartment. And, you know, now that I'm getting back into CDs, I started looking for some of those, and I actually found some pretty cool ones. So I'll start with I'll start with my 3 favorite finds from, like, back in the day. So these are, like, old records that I bought, like, a decade plus ago. So I was very excited to find this one because I actually forgot that I had bought this album. But I'm talking about Rust by Harm's Way. So Rust, I believe, is the 3rd full-length record from Harm's Way. Harm's Way is basically I would call them a metalcore band, but they're like this hardcore, beat-down-ish, metallic hardcore band from Chicago. And you know, any of you like heavy metal hardcore music nerds who are out there on the internet, you've probably seen the YouTube show Hard Lore with Colin Young and Bo Looters. Bo Looters is the lead guitar player and one of the main songwriters of Harm's Way. most people probably know that, but just in case you don't, like, you've probably seen Bo around, even if you don't necessarily know his band, you know, like if you're into this kind of music. But this album's very cool. It was mixed by Kurt Ballou, or Kurt Ballou from Converge. I always thought it was Kurt Ballou. That's what I've been saying for like the past 15 years or whatever. But like recently I've heard people pronounce his name as Ballou, which kind of, I was like, what? That doesn't sound right. I've always said Ballou, but Kurt Ballou, Kurt Ballou, that guy, the Converge guy, like the Converge guitar player who's also like, you know, an engineer, producer, genius. So here's the packaging. So like it has like this sleeve, right? And then you pull the record out of here. Actually, the record, I should, I mean, it's not that big a deal, but like it looks like this. Of course, you got to have a skull in there, you know. If you don't have at least one skull in your album collection, it's like we can't really be friends. Just being real, you know. But yeah, you pull this out, you got some lyrics on here, got some lyrics on there. And then the CD is, of course, in here. The only thing I don't like about this packaging is the CD is like kind of a bitch to get out of this little sleeve. So I'll only do it halfway, but like it's got a little bit of dirt. Oh, here we go. I got it out. Pretty cool disc. You know, it looks like a fucking beat down hardcore album, you know? You got some skulls, you got some dirt. The name of the album is Rust. I mean, what's there not to love, honestly? Harm's Way, Rust. Great album. I don't know if it's my favorite. I think my favorite Harm's Way album is, what's that album called? Isolation. That's the first Harm's Way album I heard. Isolation from 2011. That record just hits a certain way, you know. It's just raw. It's just raw and heavy and intense. This is raw too, but like it's also mixed by Kurt Ballou, so it's pretty refined. It's a pretty sophisticated album because of that. But yeah, great record. Check it out if you're into like super intense shit. Switching gears a little bit, we got 2 albums by this band that I love a lot. We got 2 albums by Opeth. Two of the mellower albums from Opeth. We got Damnation from, I think, 2003. And we got Heritage from 2011. Heritage was the first Opeth album that I heard that was new. Because I heard Opeth for the first time in, like, 2010, 2011. Like, basically right before this album came out. So, and this was like the first like prog rock Opeth album. So Opeth, if you don't know, they're like this death metal band from Sweden. A lot of people call them a progressive death metal band because they got a lot of Pink Floyd energy, you know? It's like kind of similar to this band I talked about before, Blood Incantation. Remember I was talking about this album? I was like, oh yeah, this is like if Pink Floyd was a death metal album, right? Or a death metal band, I mean. So Opeth is like even more like that. This band is even more like what if Pink Floyd grew up listening to Morbid Angel? Like that's kind of what this band sounds like. Like when I heard Blood Incantation the first time, I was like, oh, this sounds like Opeth, but like a little bit gnarlier and a little bit more psyched out, like a little more psychedelic. But like I said, these 2 albums are 2 of the mellower albums. So there's a lot of peaks and valleys in Opeth's music, right? They're not one of those bands that's like crank it all the way to 11 100% of the time. Like they mix it up. There's a lot of different sounds in this band's music. So these 2 albums are 2 of there's not really any metal at all on these records. Especially this one. Damnation is very very like lazy river, but like in a cool way, uh this is actually the deluxe version of Heritage. I bought this when it was like pretty new. I bought this in like 2012 or something. I bought it at Newberry Comics in Boston, Massachusetts when I was still in college. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of this band. So at the time, I was like, I gotta have the deluxe edition. Like, I don't care if they're not heavy anymore. Like, I gotta have the deluxe edition of Heritage. And it's pretty cool. It's got the main album over here on the left, and then on the right is like, it's got like a couple of bonus tracks, and it's also a DVD. It's got the making of documentary, which is just this little like, here's something for the people who bought the deluxe album. But honestly, the coolest part about this record is the way they did the cover, because you see that it's very it's got some holographic shit going on. So when I found this, I was like, yes, I can't believe I fucking found this. Yes. I was so excited when I found this. I was excited when I found this too, but like, this is kind of just a basic edition of Damnation. It's kind of just the album. Nothing really to write home about. Like, even the booklet is pretty bare bones and basic. Not a lot going on. Little photo of the band, circa 2003-ish. Debatably the classic lineup. You got Mikael Ackerfeld, the front man. He's like the mastermind. He's been on every album. You got Martin Mendez way over here on the far end. He's the bass player. He's the second longest serving member of the band. In the middle, these two guys. This guy down here is Martin Lopez. He was the drummer for a very long time, and this guy Peter Lindgren was the lead guitar player for a long time. I think Opeth wrote their best music, or at least my favorite music. They wrote my favorite music with this lineup. So, yeah, I would say it's the classic lineup. But yeah, beyond that, it's kind of just more lyrics and, got some liner notes. Like, the booklet is just kind of whatever for Damnation. And then let's check the booklet for the Heritage album one time. So this one's kind of cool. It's a lot of studio photos. I'm trying my best here to like hold it up. Got some studio shit going on. Also, nothing really to write home about. Is there even lyrics in this booklet? I don't even know. Trying to check. Let's check one time. Oh, yeah, okay. The last couple of pages have the lyrics. So, you can read along if you feel like it. It's all well and good. But anyway, yeah, those are the two Opeth albums I found. Love this band. Very cool band. All right, switching gears hard again with this next one. This one is going to be like, I don't know how people are going to feel about this next one. But this one is kind of cool because it's kind of an accidental collector's item. So we got Ice Nine Kills, baby. Fucking Ice Nine Kills from 2013. This is their 2013 EP called The Predator. So Ice Nine Kills is a band that they're a metalcore band. First of all, I should show you why this little EP is kind of a collector's item. It's only because the disc has like the autographs of all the members on it, or at least the members that were in the band at that time, because there's been some lineup changes. But Ice Nine Kills is this band from Boston originally. I think now they're based in upstate New York. And they're like one of those Warped Tour style metalcore bands, but they've kind of developed like a real niche for themselves, like in the past, like I would say like 5 to 10 years, because now they've kind of like they've kind of become this like horror movie like metalcore band. Like, it's like they're the metalcore band that writes songs about Freddy Krueger and like Jason Voorhees and shit like that. And it's not personally my thing. It's cool. It's they got their thing going. That's what they're doing nowadays. But back in 2013, when this EP came out, you can tell they're kind of starting to head that direction. You know, this cover is very Pennywise-esque, you know. They're kind of starting to go into that horror movie direction, but they hadn't fully embraced it yet. It was kind of just like an aesthetic thing they would do here and there back then. Nowadays, it's like their whole thing. It's like Spencer, the lead singer, Spencer Charnas, like he literally dresses up as like Freddy Krueger on stage. He's got like the claw and everything. Like they go full on with that horror movie shit. In fact, their most recent claim to fame is they actually had a song for the Terrifier 3 soundtrack. So, you know, if you're one of those slasher freaks, maybe you've heard that song. Guilty as charged a little bit. I'm a little bit of a slasher freak occasionally. I like those movies, those Terrifier movies. The second one's my favorite, have to say. But anyway, so this EP, like, I should also mention that when I was in music college, one of my professors was this guy named Dave Marvulio, and he was at one point the bass player in Ice Nine Kills. Which may be how I got a hold of this. I actually can't remember. I can't remember if I got this through Dave or if I got this through a friend who was also a fan of the band. It's because again, this was many years ago when I got a hold of this. But one way or the other, I got a hold of this, and you know, through Dave, I went to a show. I got put on the guest list for an Ice Nine Kills show in upstate New York, which was pretty cool. That was like also around this time, like 2013, 2014, before they really blew up. Like Ice Nine Kills, they really grinded it out for a lot of years before they really like found their niche and like found their sound and like their vibe, you know, the horror movie vibe. So I saw them live before they, you know, just before they were massive. They're a pretty massive band. I think they opened up for Metallica recently. Like, they're kind of on that level now. So that's cool. But this EP, first of all, am I forgetting anything? I saw the band. I met Spencer. He was nice to me. Dave is awesome. Shout out to Dave. You know, he plays in an awesome band called Dath now. Or maybe it's pronounced Doth. It's spelled Daath. He's the bass player in that band now. And that's like A.O. Levi's band. Like, it's crazy. He's a crazy musician. Like, shout out to Dave. But yeah, that's Ice Nine Kills. And this is The Predator. So this is just a little EP. There's only like 5 songs on it. And it's very 2013, like Warped Tour metalcore. Like, it's like they even have... They even have Tyler Carter featured on one of the tracks. Like, that's how 2013 it is. Truly a different era, right? But yeah, there's some good songs. Like, the first couple of songs on here are pretty good. The Coffin is Moving, track 1, and track 2, Father's Day. Pretty good tracks, you know. The rest of it is kind of, it's whatever. There's an Adele cover on here. They covered Someone Like You by Adele. That's like the final track on the EP. And, you know, that's pretty cool. Like, I mean, it's a pretty good cover. Like, this is a decent little EP. Like, it's nothing to write home about. It's only 5 tracks. Couple of good original songs. One pretty good cover. And it's signed by the members, or the members of the time. So, you know, that's cool. Ice Nine Kills. God bless. Shout out to Dave. Shout out to Spencer. Those guys are cool. They were nice to me. All right, this next one. I got 2 more old records, and then I'm going to get into the new shit that I bought recently. So this is another record that is like super 2013. I bought this when it was brand new. I was super hyped about this album when it came out. I'm talking about My Ticket Home, with their second album, their 2013 sophomore album, Strangers Only, okay? It just says Strangers Only on the cover, but if you look here, there it is, My Ticket Home, Strangers Only. Remember that show I told you about where I was put on the guest list to see Ice Nine Kills? Well, one of the opening bands that night were these guys, My Ticket Home. These guys are a metalcore band from Ohio. I think they're from Columbus, Ohio. And they started out, this band has evolved a lot because their first few releases were very like kind of by the numbers, late 2000s, early 2010s, like alternative press metalcore. Still pretty good shit. Like their first album has some pretty damn good songs on it, but like stylistically it didn't really stick out too much. You know, it was kind of like I said, by the numbers. It wasn't like super groundbreaking, even though it was good. But then they released this shit a couple years later. Their first album came out in 2011. This shit came out in 2013. They switched gears hard on this album. So they went from being like a pretty generic sounding, like Warped Tour style, like late 2000s metalcore band. They switched from that to being like this kind of new metalcore band. You know, like these guys were one of the first metalcore bands, and I know because I like this shit. Okay, I'm hip to this shit. I listen to this music a lot, and I was there. These guys were one of the first metalcore bands to play like new metal influenced metalcore music, like new metal influenced hardcore. So it's super like hardcore punk. Like there's a lot of hardcore punk energy on this thing, but they combine it with some of that like Slipknot dirtiness, some of that like heavier Linkin Park dirtiness, you know? And people weren't really doing that a whole lot back in 2013. People were still on that like, you know, open chug fucking, you know, let's write, you know, the most popular Devil Wears Prada album again, you know? Like let's everybody sound like the Devil Wears, everybody try to be Attack Attack. Like that was the era. That was 2013. Everybody from this scene was trying to be Attack Attack still. Like this band was trying to be Attack Attack a little bit. I mean, Caleb Shomo from Attack Attack literally produced their first album, right? So they were on that train too. But then they said, fuck it, let's put some Linkin Park shit in there. Let's put some fucking Slipknot shit in there. Like this album to me sounds like what if you had like a metalcore band from the 2010s, but like, or actually let me put it like this: what if Kurt Cobain, Corey Taylor, and Chester Bennington like started a metalcore band together? It kind of sounds like that to me. Because I forgot to mention, there's like some grungy shit here too. There is some very like Nirvana-esque stuff happening. So it's like Nirvana combined with Slipknot combined with a little bit of Linkin Park in a 2000s or a 2010s like metalcore band body is kind of what we're doing here. So this album's awesome. I mean, not everything about it has aged super well. Again, similar to Ice Nine Kills, it's very 2013. Like, even though it was kind of a next level thing, even though it was kind of a groundbreaking thing, at least in my eyes, like, I don't know, like this was the first band I heard in like to do the new metal thing with the hardcore punk metalcore thing. Like, I mean, at least in this scene, like there wasn't anybody doing that. Little photo of the band just being a bunch of fucking bros, you know. Track list. And there's no booklet in this CD. It's just like the packaging and then the CD, which just has Strangers Only written on like a blank disc. Like they're very much going for that like CDR look, you know. Is there anything behind the CD? Not really. Probably just some Ohio shit. Like just some Ohio wilderness is what it looks like to me. Yeah, not everything about this is aged super well. Like some of the lyrics are a little bit corny, I'm not gonna lie, but god damn, it fucking hits. Like even now, the riffs on this thing are just dirty, bro. Like this shit grooves. This shit has some dirty fucking groovy shit on it. And last fun fact I'll say about this thing, Strangers Only by My Ticket Home, right? My Ticket Home, Strangers Only. This is the first album that I ever heard that was produced by Will Putney. Will Putney and Randy LaBeouf actually worked on this together, because Randy LaBeouf was like an employee of Will Putney's for a long time, before he kind of went off and did his own thing. But like both of those guys are just geniuses. Like when it comes to like recording hardcore metal bands, like they're the it boys, right? Like they're just two guys. Like to me, like my Triforce when it comes to like hardcore and metal production, it's three guys. It's Kurt Ballou from Converge, and then Will Putney and Randy LaBeouf. Like those three guys, those are the three it boys for me. Like they're just like mega artists, like with the way that they record bands. Like they just have their own, each of those guys has their own sound. Like if I put on a Randy album, I know immediately it's a Randy album. If I put on a Will album, I know immediately it's a Will album. And same with Kurt. Like all three of these guys, like when you hear a record that was recorded by one of them, like if you listen to this kind of music and if you listen to those three guys in particular, like you can just tell that it's them. Like they have a voice, so they're artists. Like it's like, yeah, they're recording engineers, but they're artists with it because they have their own sound. Anyway, I've fucking yapped about these guys long enough. My Ticket Home, Strangers Only, their second album. I think it's their best album, despite, you know, the kind of rough around the edges nature of it. Check it out if you love dirty riffs, okay? All right, up next. Up next, still in the metalcore world. A little bit of a different flavor. Where's my water? Gotta stay hydrated, you know? Gotta stay hydrated when you're talking about records. Anyway, I got the debut album. Okay, this is another album that I bought many, many years ago. This is the last old one. All the new shit, all the other shit I'm going to talk about is stuff that I bought recently, like within the last month. But this is the last old record. Okay, this is While She Sleeps with their debut LP, EP, question mark. The North stands for nothing. I say it's a LP, EP, question mark because it's one of those albums that's like, it's like a little bit longer than like a typical EP, but it's not quite a full-length record. So it's kind of a mini album of sorts. Like how many tracks is on here? Hang on. So there's 8 main tracks. 2 of those tracks are like interludes. So there's really 6 main songs, and then there's a bonus track. So it's a 9-track album. So it's like, all right, that's feasibly full length, but like when you really break these songs down and you realize, all right, one of them's a bonus track, it wasn't on the original thing, and then like 2 of them are like just interludes, like it's kind of an EP, like when you really boil it down. But anyway, one way or the other, it's their first album, it's their first release. Actually, it's like their second one. I don't know. It's their first big one. This is their first big release. The name of the band's While She Sleeps. They're from England. They're a UK band. They're from Sheffield, which is the same town that Arctic Monkeys is from. And it's also the same town that Bring Me the Horizon is from. So Sheffield, you know, there's some hardcore, metalcore, rock and roll energy going on there, which is cool. The name of the band is While She Sleeps, which when I heard these guys for the first time, it was like 2012, like, and this came out in 2010, so like this was only 2 years old at the time, and this was the only album. They hadn't even released their first big actual full-length record yet. And I wasn't thinking too hard about the band name, but I was like, now looking back, I'm like, While She Sleeps? Like, what the fuck? What kind of band name is that, you guys? Fucking sounds kind of fucking creepy, right? But then it's like, when you learn about this band, it's like, okay, they started in the year 2006 when they were like literal middle schoolers, right? And people have asked them about the band name. in interviews. They're like, what's the deal with the band? What does that mean? What does While She Sleeps mean? Because, like, there's, like, some potentially dark implications with a name like that, right? And these guys, these English guys from fucking Sheffield, they're like, oh, it's, it's like a reference to, like, a sinking ship, like when it's, because you know how, like, you call a ship she, like these pirates and these fucking sailors, they call a ship she. And then when it sinks to the bottom of the ocean, it's like she's sleeping. So, like, the idea is, like, while she sleeps, like, the world keeps turning or some shit like that. And I'm like, all right, that's fair. But, like, I kind of feel like you guys might have just been, like, a bunch of middle school edgelords when you started your band, and you kind of just wanted some shit that sounded gnarly and kind of freaky and scary, and that's why you called the band While She Sleeps. But whatever, I could be wrong. I could be way off base. Point is, I had to address that. I had to address the elephant in the room with the band's name, because it is, like, all right, like, yeah, the name of the band's While She Sleeps. I get it. It's like, okay, it kind of makes me think of, like, some Shinji Asuka shit, like from fucking End of Evangelion. But here's the thing. It doesn't matter to me. It really, I know I just went on a tirade about it. It doesn't really matter to me because this band's really fucking good, okay? So, I'm willing to overlook it. And the guys are, like, really not creeps at all. Like, they're normal, cool English dudes, it seems. I seen this band live. I saw this band live in, like, when did I see these guys? I saw these guys, I think it was, like, 2012 or 2013. Again, these are all super, like, 2012, 2013 era records for me. But I saw these guys at the Worcester Palladium in Worcester, Massachusetts. That was a great show. Okay, get a load of this lineup. It was these guys opening up. It was While She Sleeps. They were the first band to play. I was really there to see them more than anybody else because I was super hyped on them back then. They were fucking lit. It was like their first American tour, I think, or one of them. It was one of their first big, like, U.S. tours. And they were hyped. Like, they were fucking animals on stage, just bouncing all over the place, all four of them. Well, I mean, there's 5 people in the band, but, like, the drummer's not hopping around. But, like, all 4 non-drummer members of this band were just hopping around on stage like fucking wild animals. It was sick. And then after them was Veil of Maya. Okay, Veil of Maya went on next. They were insane. And then The Word Alive went on after Veil of Maya. I wasn't super into them. The friends that I went to the show with, they really liked them. They really liked The Word Alive. I was kind of like, whatever. They're cool, I get, whatever. Not super into it. But then the headliner was Parkway Drive. And this was back when Parkway Drive was heavy, okay? This was 2012 Parkway Drive. Atlas was the new album. So they were still, like, a real fucking metal band. It was before they got kind of, like, butt rocky or whatever. Fucking awesome show. Like, for me personally, legendary show. Amazing all around. Like, even The Word Alive was, like, pretty cool. Like, when the worst band of the night is still pretty cool, like, that's a great show. But anyway, so this band fucking rocks. They're from Sheffield, England. Their first album, super rough around the edges, like 2010s metalcore. I mean, it literally came out in 2010. These guys have, like, a very, like, British edge to their music, too. Like, this band, they're just one of the most British-sounding bands I've ever heard in my life. Like, and it's kind of, like, indescribable. You kind of just have to check it out. But, like, once you hear this band, you'll know immediately what I'm talking about. Like, it's like the accent. Like, the singer has the accent super hard. And, like, just, like, the way they do gang vocals is super British to me. The gang vocals are just very, like, a bunch of fucking English lads singing a song together in a pub or a tavern. Like, that's kind of what it makes me think of. Just, like, super British. This is, like, Charles Dickens metalcore to me. Like, even the logo is, like, super, like, everything about this band is just British as fuck, right? But yeah, great band. They rock. Band name's a little weird, but it's okay. They rock. I'm willing to overlook it. And speaking of that, we have another While She Sleeps album that I bought recently. I haven't really listened to this band, like, for real, listened to them in like a long time, because I haven't really been super into their more recent material. But their old shit still hits a certain way, right? So this is their second full-length album called Brainwashed. Super awesome album cover. I always loved the album cover to this thing. Just the bright red with the red flag with the logo on it. Here, just so you don't have to deal with the glare. Yeah. Just a very striking image, And then when you turn it over, the flag's on fire. Pretty rock and roll. This album is basically everything I like about this, but just cranked up, and also it also like rocks a little bit harder. Like, this is one of those bands that like does a really good job, or at least back then. I don't know so much about now, but like back then when this came out, this was like 2015 when this album came out. The shit on this album, this band is so good at like combining like super heavy, moshy, breakdowny metalcore, hardcore punk stuff with like arena level rock. You know what I mean? Like, not like White Snake shit, but just like songs that belong in like a massive venue, where people are singing along. And the riffs just rock. You know what I mean? Like, this album is just chock full of that. Like, New World Torture, Riff Machine song, Your Evolution, Riff Machine, Brainwash title track, Riff Machine, Four Walls, riffs like butter in Four Walls, Trophies of Violence, riffs like butter. Method and Madness, riffs like this album is just chock full of like smooth ass riffs like butter, right? Like riffs that just rock and just feel good and sound good, I actually had the booklet for this a long time ago, but I don't have it anymore. I do have the booklet for this, obviously, so let's take a look at it. There's actually a lot to look at in this booklet. So, we got Sean Long, lead guitar player, lyrics. Sean would like to thank these lads and lasses, right? Brainwash, lyrics, full band photo. This is one of those bands that, like, they don't try to be, like, super punk. I mean, they are pretty punk rock, but they don't try to be like, we don't hide our faces. They're not one of those bands. They take a lot of photos, right? There's Sav, the drummer, Adam Savage. Pretty good drummer, He's not necessarily my favorite metalcore drummer, but he's a fucking pocket machine, which is all that really matters, Gang vocal photo. I love this photo because the gang vocals are such a huge part of this band's sound, at least in this era. Like, the gang vocals, it's hard for me to describe, but like, you just have to listen to the band to really get what I'm saying. This band's gang vocals are super unique and also super British. Lawrence Taylor, the singer, with more lyrics, and Laws would like to thank these lads and lasses, as it were. Another band photo, like this book, it's like a Linkin Park album with the amount of fucking band photos in here. Matt Welsh, rhythm guitar player. Aaron McKenzie, bass player. More lyrics. And then, of course, you have the fucking token festival shot. This band plays a lot of festivals. This is one of those bands, they're not super big in the U.S. They're really not. I don't know a lot of people who have heard about this band in the US, but in the UK where they're from, and also like in other regions like Europe and Australia and like parts of Asia, like people fuck with this band super heavy across the world, even though like Americans don't really get it. But a lot of British bands have that problem. There's a lot of British bands that struggle finding an audience in the US for whatever reason, you know. I think Americans, like, we just think that we're the top dogs, you know? So, like, anything the Brits do, we're just kind of like, yeah, but y'all lost the war. So, I mean, how good could it be? You know, we kind of have that attitude, like, subconsciously. Okay, but enough talking about this fucking sing-songy, arena-ready, playing festivals in front of thousands of people bullshit. All right, let's get to some, like, actual fucking, like, hard-ass shit, okay? Let's talk about Primitive Man one time. Are you guys down with Primitive Man? Are you hip to Primitive fucking Man? Okay, let's check out the cover without the glare one time. Bam. Primitive Man with their 2017 album, Caustic, okay? This album is just... You want to talk about music that's like bananas heavy? Like, it's these guys. It's this fucking band. So, Primitive Man is a doom metal band. I get they're like a death doom metal band. It's like they combine death metal with doom metal. Normies are gonna hear me say all that and they're like, what's the difference? You know, well, it doesn't matter. Don't worry about the difference. The point is like this band is like, this band will send you to hell. Okay, you listen to this band and it's like, oh, I'm like literally on my, you know, perfect example. I showed this album to my drummer in my band, this kid named Alec Goldstein. Okay, look him up. I'm sure he's around somewhere on YouTube. I mean, anytime you see me play live between the years 2020 and today, he's playing drums. All right, he's fucking workhorse. I love him. I would take a bullet for this kid, Alec Goldstein, great drummer. But I was in the car with him a little while back, and I showed him this band. I showed him this album, and we got like maybe halfway through track 1, and then he says this. He goes, okay, this is what he says. He goes, you know Stairway to Heaven? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, well, this is the exact opposite of that. Like, instead of Stairway to Heaven, it's like a slow trudge to the depths of hell. It's like you're on the river Styx, and like the Grim Reaper is just like Charon, the Stygian boatman, is just slowly like ferrying you to the underworld, where you're gonna spend the rest of your life screaming in agony. Like, that's what this band sounds like. They're so sick. Primitive Man is so cool. Yeah, they're a death doom metal band from Colorado. I think they're from Denver, but they're a 3-piece band. There's only 3 guys in this band, and you want to talk about a power trio. This band is a sledgehammer trio, okay? This band is like a fucking landmine trio. Like, just a massive sound for 3 people, you know? Like, on the records, you can kind of fake some stuff. Like, you can do guitar overdubs, and like you can add a bunch of like power electronics effects, which like this band definitely does all that. But it's really hammered home when like you hear them perform live. I've never seen this band live, but I've seen videos, and there's like 1 guitar, 1 bass, 1 drum kit. The drummer does the vocals. Or no, the guitar player does the vocals. My bad. And that's it. It's just a wall of sound. Like, you could just, even when you're listening to it on YouTube with headphones, like, you just feel how loud it is in the room. Yeah, just fucking like, fucking torture room music, dude. Like, just like bananas heavy. Like when it comes to like bananas heavy, like it's this band. So like if you like music that sounds like what my drummer described, like the opposite of Stairway to Heaven, check out Primitive Man, okay? Great record. Similar territory, but like a much different vibe. We have a classic record. We have Electric Wizard with their 2000 album Dope Throne with like a fucking demon smoking out of a bowl. I mean, stoner rock to the max, you know? Back of the CD, there's even like a fucking pot leaf. I used to be a huge pothead. I don't smoke weed or do weed anymore. You know, I have reasons for stopping all that. But you know, every now and then I put on this record, and most of the time I can get through it without thinking about weed. But every now and then you're just like, man, I wish I could smoke a bowl to this one last time, you know? But those days are behind me. Like, this band is just weeded the fuck out. Like, you got a pot leaf, you got pot plants on the disc, you know? Total stoner doom metal band, these guys. And funny enough, the first time I ever heard this band was, again, right around the time period I've been talking about, right around 2013, I think, is when I heard this band. I went to this bar with a bunch of friends that I played in a band with back then. I used to drink a lot too. I don't drink anymore either, but back then I was doing some drinking. And we went to this bar, and I was still living in Massachusetts back then, so this was like some kind of like super dingy, like heavy metal style bar in Alston or something like that. Like, it was like that part of town, like that super crust punky Alston part of town of Boston. And we go in there, we start drinking. They're blasting this shit. This shit is like, you know how sometimes you'll go to a bar or you'll go to a club or someplace and it's just loud because people are talking and there's music. So you gotta like yell at each other to like understand what each other's saying, you know? This was like, that night in that bar with this album playing was like, you couldn't even, like, you could be screaming at the top of your lungs. You couldn't hear shit. Like, all you could hear was just the fucking fuzz from this friggin' album, dude. And I was so, like, I was playing in this band with this guitar player, and me and the guitar player were just like drinking, sitting there listening to this shit, and we're just like, what the fuck this is some heavy shit. This is some heavy, fuzzy, like rock and roll shit. So we actually, at one point, we go up to the bartender, we're like, hey, what band is this? And he's like, it's Electric Wizard, Dope Throne. And we're like, Electric Wizard, okay. So from that point on, I was just like fully on board with this band. I'm fully on the Electric Wizard train, dude. This band fucking rocks. Like, this band is like one of the hardest rocking bands ever. Another trio. They're like a 4-piece now, but when they recorded this album, they were a trio. Guitar, bass, drums, guitar player sings, right? And the way I describe this band's music to people who haven't heard it, like, imagine Black Sabbath, but just like literally 100 times heavier. Like, just picture like the Black Sabbath sound, right? The Black Sabbath Ozzy Osbourne sound that you probably know. Just imagine that, but literally 100 times heavier. This shit is just on another fucking level, dude. Electric Wizard fucking rocks, dude. I love this band. I love this record. Yeah. Definitely an album to, like, if you're one of those people who likes to drink or smoke weed or do drugs or whatever, definitely an album to fucking do drugs to. I don't do that shit anymore, but yeah. I have done drugs to this album many times. I've drank a lot of alcohol and done a lot of drugs to this album. So I've had my fill, like, make no mistake. But you know, out of all the music that I'm showing you tonight, this is the album to do that to. I mean, the fucking devil is literally smoking out of a bowl in the fucking album cover. So there it is. Okay, next album, another Opeth record with their 2005 album, Ghost Reveries. Like I said earlier, I love this band. I've loved Opeth for a very long time, and I would say that this album, Ghost Reveries from 2005, is my favorite album of theirs. It's fucking heavy. It's their only album that's like 100% in drop D. It's like the one and only, like, truly drop D Opeth album. Opeth is mainly a standard tuning band most of the time. Like, it's like they'll tune down to D every now and then. Like, they got a song on one of their more recent albums that's like in drop A, and they play it on a baritone guitar. It's like, all right, that's cool, but they're mostly like a standard tuning band, you know, like on a spiritual level. These guys are a standard tuning band. They just live in standard, but not on this album. For some reason, they just had a wild hair up their ass. They're like, no, dude, that E minor shit is not dark enough, dude. That standard tuning shit is not fucking dark enough. We need that D minor shit. We need that dark, flat key, D minor, fucking tuned down shit for this dark ass album. And it is a dark album. Like, it has moments of brightness, you know, because it's Opeth. Like, Opeth has a lot of peaks and valleys in their music, you know. There's a lot of, you know, there are a couple mellower tracks on this record. But even the mellow tracks are still a little bit, like, disquieting and kind of like, ooh, like, there's still some creepy energy in there. I love this little mosaic of the band. This is the record they became a 5-piece officially. They added like a keyboard Mellotron type guy to the lineup, which is pretty sick. It's kind of become a big part of the band's sound. But yeah, this album is like super fucking Bloodborne to me, like super Victorian, and just like this is truly an album to play Bloodborne to. Okay, so all you fucking Miyazaki freaks, all you From Software fucking Dark Souls freaks out there, if you're like, oh yeah, like, I'm fucking hard as fuck because I play Dark Souls, and I'm super heavy metal because I'm like, I play games where there's no pause screen. Like, you can't really pause the game because it's just that fucking hardcore, dude. Like, you're not hardcore. You're not like a true Souls person to me. You're not a true Bloodborne player unless you play it to this album at least once. Otherwise, you're a fucking pussy, dude. I'm just kidding. I'm just talking shit for no reason. Don't take it too seriously. I'm just talking shit for no reason. It's just fun to make fun of those From Software, like, Dark Souls super nerds sometimes. Because they take their shit very seriously. Like, just look up Dark Souls on YouTube, and just the level of fucking nerds who take Dark Souls super seriously. It's, like, really funny. But yeah, look at that shit, dude. Like, that's some Dark Souls shit. That's some Bloodborne shit, if you ask me. Yeah, there's 2 albums. I'm gonna stop talking about Dark Souls and Bloodborne in just a second, but, like, there's 2 albums you Dark Soul freaks need to listen to if you're gonna play those games. All right, put on Bloodborne, put on Dark Souls, put on Elden Ring, whatever game you think is like the most fucking legit, and you gotta listen to 2 albums while you're playing that shit. You gotta listen to Ghost Reveries by Opeth, and you gotta listen to Slaughter of the Soul by At the Gates. Okay, those are the 2 Bloodborne metal albums in my book. Truly, like, just Bloodborne the fuck out music. Anyway, rant over. God, I have a lot of shit. Should I, like, take a break? I'm about to come up on an hour. I've just been yapping. Alright, I'll talk about these last 3, and then, like, I'll save the rest for, like, another video. This is a long fucking video. Who's gonna watch this? I'll tell you who's gonna watch this. fucking Dark Souls nerds who like get this shit in their algorithm because it's like, oh, this fucking four-eyed freak with the nail shirt talks shit about my favorite fucking game series. Let's fucking crucify him because we're Dark Souls nerds, right? Again, I'm just talking shit for no reason. Anyway, let's talk about some music that's not Bloodborne music at all, okay? Let's talk about Deaf Heaven with their 2013 album, Sunbather, okay? This album, a lot of metal nerds are gonna hate me for talking about this album, for owning this album. I don't care because I love this album. This is actually the 2023 remaster that came out a couple years ago in 2023. How about that? But this album, classic album at this point, if you're one of those Fantano heads, like you've heard about this record, if you're like one of those Pitchfork nerds, everybody's a nerd in my book, evidently, but if you're one of those Pitchfork people, you've heard of this album. You've heard of Sunbather by Deaf Heaven from San Francisco. So if you don't know Deaf Heaven, they're basically a black metal band, but they're like a post black metal band, dude. They combine the black metal shit with like the fucking they with like shoegaze and like alternative rock type stuff. So like this record to me sounds like if I were to be real, and again, a lot of metal nerds are gonna hate me for saying this, I don't care, okay? This album to me sounds like Dark Throne, okay? It's like they took a little bit of Dark Throne and they mixed it with a little bit of like My Bloody Valentine or like Disintegration era Cure, like The Cure. You know that album Disintegration? That's another album I have to own at some point. It's like this band, it's like they listened to Dark Throne and they were like, that's fucking cool. Let's combine it with some of that My Bloody Valentine / The Cure type shit, right? And it's very cool. It's very unique. It's very different. It's still pretty heavy. Like, I actually saw this band live a couple years ago when they were touring for like the 10th anniversary of this album. It was the Sunbather 10th anniversary tour, and I saw them at the Knockdown Center up in Queens, and great fucking show, by the way. I was going there thinking like, okay, this band, I love this music, it rocks, but it's not really mosh music to me. I think I'm just gonna go there and I'm just gonna like take it all in. Like I'm gonna watch Deaf Heaven the same way that I would watch a band like Tool or like Opeth. You know, like it's not really a band that you mosh to. At least to me, it's more of a band that you just kind of like witness and like take in. So I went to this show fully prepared to just do that. Fully prepared to just kind of like stand in the middle of the floor and just be like, whoa, it's fucking Sunbather. But dude, this band got on stage, they started playing fucking track 1, Dream House, off of Sunbather. First of all, the set list was just the album front to back. They just played the whole album front to back. So when they started playing track 1, motherfuckers started going crazy at the Knockdown Center, like in a way I wasn't expecting. Because like to me, this is not mosh music, really. Like, you know what I mean? But like, that doesn't matter because like to other people apparently Deaf Heaven is mosh music. And dude, the fucking pit during this show was just like insane. Like it wasn't like my kind of pit. I like dance pits where like motherfuckers are like, you know, dancing because you know, say what you will, metal nerds, that's the type of stuff I like to do when I'm at a hardcore show, you know, or a metalcore type show. I like to two-step. I like to fucking, you know, chop the air. I like to fucking do cartwheels and shit, you know, if the crowd is hefty enough, maybe do a little stage dive. Like, that's how I like to mosh, you know. But this pit at the Deaf Heaven show was like a push pit kind of thing where people are just kind of shoving each other, you know. And those are my least favorite because there's no coordination. There's no grace to it. Like, even though like hardcore dancing pits are like super aggressive and people get hurt in them, it is dancing. Like there is a level of finesse and grace that these people have. It's not like ballet, but it's like, it's dance. It's like a real dance situation when you're at these metalcore shows and the pits are going crazy with that shit. But the push pits are just not for me because there's no coordination, there's no grace. It's just motherfuckers shoving each other. So that's what this pit was like, which, if you're going to pit to this band, it's probably going to be that because it's not something you hardcore dance to. But, dude, I saw some people who were really wilding the fuck out at this show. Like, there was this one girl in the pit, like, at the Deaf Heaven show, who was, like, she seemed like she was super drunk. And to me, God bless her. I'm sure she's a great gal. But, like, she was super drunk. You could just tell. And, like, it seemed like it was her very first mosh pit ever. And she was literally trying to fight people. This little like 5'4" chick was just like getting up in people's grill and like throwing punches, like real punches at people at the Deaf Heaven show. It's like a couple people had to step in and be like, yo, you need to chill the fuck out, all right? Like, relax, okay? It's like, we get it. It's hype. It's heavy metal. Like, it's mosh. Like, cool. But, like, you're not supposed to, like, throw punches at people. like, a couple of different guys, like, big, like, 6-foot guys had to step in and be like, you need to calm down, ma'am. Like, it's pretty funny. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget this show. It was a fucking surreal experience seeing this band perform this record front to back. And to anybody who thinks that this is not a real metal band, go see them live and talk to me afterwards, because these motherfuckers sound like a metal band live. They're loud, they're intense, they're heavy. Their singer is a fucking, like, metal frontman for real. He's not, like, pussyfooting around up there. He's, like, doing metal frontman shit. Like, these guys are a metal band, so that's my 2 cents with that. I mean, you can think whatever you want. You can think the band is fucking stupid if you want, but, like, I saw them live and they were lit. That's all I'm saying. All right. Now we're getting into some, I got a bunch more records, but I'll just end it with these last two, because I'm now past the hour point. Next record. This might be the most recent record that I'm talking about, because it came out just last year in 2025. I'm talking about the Acacia Strain, baby. The Acacia Strain with their 2025 album, You Are Safe From God Here. You see that on the spine? The Acacia Strain. You are safe from God here. Yeah, it's heavy metal. Fucking, yeah, you are safe from God. Yeah, it's heavy metal shit. Look at that. If that's not heavy metal, I don't know what is. So this is a band, the Acacia Strain. This is a band that you mosh to, okay? This is a band you fucking two-step and fucking swing your arms and do cartwheels and stage dive and take the mic from the singer and be like, oh, and jump back into the crowd. Like, this is the kind of band where you act that way too. Super, super heavy, ignorant music. I've not really been the biggest Acacia Strain head. Like, I'm not really super tapped in with this band all the way, to be frank. In fact, I kind of bought this record on a whim. Like, I heard part of the record when it came out, like, earlier this past year, and I was like, pretty fucking heavy shit. And then, out of all situations, I was in a Barnes & Noble recently, like a couple weeks ago. I was in a fucking Barnes & Noble, and I was just like, I'm just gonna go to the CD section and see what they got, expecting, like, okay, they're gonna have the Sabrina Carpenter album, they're gonna have the Lana Del Rey album, they're gonna have that fucking MGMT album that came out in 2008 that like millennials never stop listening to. They're gonna fucking have like Vampire Weekend, and like they're gonna have Rod Stewart. Like they're gonna have all this shit, all this normie shit at Barnes and Noble. So I'm expecting just that type of stuff. But then I'm browsing around. I'm like peeking through albums. They're selling this shit out of nowhere. Like the Acacia Strain is at Barnes and Noble. You guys, did you know that? Because I didn't know that. I was shocked when I saw You Are Safe from God here at fucking Barnes and Noble with the goddamn village on fire. Like, okay, sure. Like, there's a fucking ritual happening, like, right there on the fucking album cover. Like, yeah, let's sell that at Barnes and Noble. I mean, I bought it, right? Some weirdo metalhead will walk in there and buy this shit, you know, which is exactly what happened, because I walked in there and I was like, fuck it, I have to buy the Acacia Strain if they're selling it at Barnes & Noble, right? Here's the booklet. I like the packaging for this album. It's very, like, a lot of, like, blacks and whites, you know, just very monochromatic, but it's classy. Like, some of the recent Acacia Strain albums, it's so funny because, like, the band's music is, like, super fucking ignorant, just super heavy, just, like, curb stomp you into the ground type music. Like, music to fucking, like, beat your enemies to death with a shovel. Like, it's that kind of music, but, like, when you open up their records, it's, like, really classy. Like, there's an element of class to this band's art direction, you know, which I appreciate. I appreciate shit like that, you know, stuff that's a little bit more, I mean, obviously it's heavy metal. We got another skull there, but, like, you see this little bird? Check out that little bird. He's just chilling, you know? I like stuff like that. It's a little, it's, you know, it's like planet Earth is dynamic, you know? It's not just, it doesn't have, like, your heavy metal album doesn't have to just look like a Cannibal Corpse album, you know? You could add a little bit of fucking, you know, you can finesse it a little bit more, I suppose, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, this album is awesome, dude. Like, I bought this album on a whim because I'm like, they're selling the Acacia Strain at Barnes & Noble. Fuck it, dude. Like, yeah, I'll spend $15 on the Acacia Strain at Barnes & Noble. Somebody's got to do it. So I just bought the record. Like, I heard a couple songs. I'm like, all right, it's pretty heavy, cool. But then, like, when I bought the CD, I, like, really started listening to it. And I've spun this thing, like, several times now. And I'm like, damn, this band is really fucking good, dude. Like, it's heavy. And, like, it's, like, brevity is the soul of wit. Like, most of the songs are, like, under the 2-minute mark here. So it's, like, all the songs are, like, super short, but, like, super precise. Like, it's like a really, like, every song on this thing is like a really, it's like a really well put together roller coaster. Like, an album like this is like a theme park. Like, and I think about this with a lot of records of this style. Like, music like this, it's more than just, like, darkness and anger, right? It's also a theme park type of situation. Where, like, the album is the theme park, and then, like, every track is like a different roller coaster, and, like, roller coasters are built in super precise ways to get, like, specific G-forces going and specific, it's like, you know, fucking engineers spend years designing roller coasters, right? Well, hardcore metal bands are the same way. Like, they design these songs, like, to make them, like, as hard as fucking possible, dude. The way this band just, like, does their thing, like, you know, it's pretty impressive. I'm not gonna lie. I gotta get more hip. I gotta go back in time and listen to some more Acacia Strain stuff. Because if it's all you Acacia Strain heads, if you're out there and you're watching, if their early stuff is as good as this, then yeah, I'm gonna have to check out more of this band. Last record I'll talk about for this video is the last one for now. A lot of people know this record. Talking about the newest Knocked Loose album. Another long-ass album title. This is Knocked Loose with their 2024 album, You Won't Go Before You're Supposed to. Gee whiz, right? What's this sound like? First of all, this is what the inside looks like. Fucking, you know. They're really in their horror movie era, this band. You know, because Knocked Loose is one of those bands. They started out as like a pretty, like they always had a unique sound, but when they started out, they were very much just like, we're a hardcore band, fucking Oldham County. We're fucking, you know, turn to the person next to you, fucking beat the shit out of them. Like, they were just like a beat down hardcore metal band, just like all the others. But recently, in like the past few years, like with their more recent stuff, it's like they're trying to evolve beyond that, I think, and they're trying to make stuff that's a little bit more cinematic and a little bit more like horror movie-esque. Like, they're kind of in their A24 fucking Ari Aster type era right now. And this band's really fucking good. Like, but this is one of the few bands that's like super hyped up, where I like kind of believe the hype most of the time. I've never really heard anything by this band that I think sucks. Well, there's one track on this album that I don't really love, but it's not because of the song itself. It's because of the feature. There's a Chris Motionless feature on track 7, which I don't really love because I'm not super into Motionless in White. I think they're kind of corny. But, you know, it's whatever. It's like a small little thing. Like, besides that, this is like basically a 10 out of 10 album. Like, the production is super blown out. And it's, again, it's like, the production on this album is super, like, THS coded. Like, you know, THX? Like, you know when you put in a DVD? Some of you might be too young to know what I'm talking about. But, like, all you old heads like me that are out there, you know when you put in a DVD and you put it, it's like the DVD starts up and it's got that THX intro, that and it's like, whoa, we're living in the modern era, like that type of vibe. I don't know if I'm making any sense at all. That's what this album makes me think of. This album is like the metalcore version of like THX. It's like the guitars are like super just like they're just super in your face and blown out. Yeah, this is the first Knocked Loose album to not be produced by Will Putney. I was talking earlier how like Will Putney is like one of the it boys to me when it comes to hardcore metalcore production. And like his production was a big part of this band's sound, like for a long time, you know. But they went with a different guy for this record. They went with this guy named Drew Folk, who he's done work again with like Motionless in White. That's probably where the Chris Motionless feature comes from. And he's done a bunch of other like kind of more, I don't know, like octane Corey type stuff, you know. And it's kind of like, all right, it's not really my thing. Don't really dig that stuff. I like stuff that's like, you know. I like music that's like if I'm listening to heavy metal shit, I want it to be super visceral, and like that like Motionless in White stuff is just not super visceral to me. It's like too pop, you know. But it's whatever. It's like a taste thing. Like, I'm not trying to say that the band sucks. It's just not for me. And I was kind of worried when I heard that guy was producing this album. I was kind of worried. I was like, oh, I hope Knocked Loose isn't fucking... I hope they're not going to be writing pop choruses and shit, you know. But thankfully, they don't do that. Thankfully, this album is still, like, super visceral. I wouldn't say it's my favorite Knocked Loose album. I actually have it. My favorite Knocked Loose album is this one, A Tear in the Fabric of Life. A Tear in the Fabric of Life, motherfucker. This is my favorite Knocked Loose shit. It's just a little EP, but like the songs are just super dope on this thing. Produced by Will Putney, right? Tear in the Fabric of Life. But anyway, whatever. We're talking about the new shit. Yeah, this album's really good. They got nominated for a Grammy off of this album, which is pretty cool. it's pretty interesting that a band like this is getting nominated for Grammys, but it's because they're just that freaking good, you know? It's because their music is like, because there's a lot of people who I feel like don't quite understand why this band is so popular, why Knocked Loose is like the band getting like millions of views on their YouTube and like their music videos, and like they're getting like the Poppy feature, and they're getting nominated for Grammys. Like some people like don't see it. They don't, I don't know if it's that they don't see it or if they just don't fuck with it, but like you see this on Instagram a lot because everybody's a fucking pro on Instagram, right? Like everybody's a fucking like, everybody's master of the domain on Instagram. Everybody's like, nah, man, like I'm the fucking arbiter. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Like I know real hardcore. I know real metal. Like this band is like fucking blah 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 blah. You know? Oh, they opened up for Slipknot. Fucking posers, right? That type of energy. Like some people kind of seem like they don't understand like why this band is as loved as they are. I think it's real simple. Like this band's music is super fucking visceral. Like everything from like Brian Garris's voice to like Isaac Hale's voice, and like just the riffs themselves, and like the way the riffs groove, and like they're borrowing from all kinds of stuff. Like they'll borrow from like hardcore bands like Vision of Disorder or like Disembodied, but then they'll also borrow from like Korn and like some of that more new metal shit, like kind of like what this band was doing way back in the day, kind of like what My Ticket Home was doing. It's like they're borrowing from all these styles, and they're just like combining them in a way where they're just, it's like, okay, the music itself is not super groundbreaking. Like there's a lot of bands that have played riffs that sound like Knocked Loose riffs, but it's kind of just the way that they do it. It's like instead of having like a death metal vocalist do vocals, they have Brian Garris shrieking like a fucking like mental patient, right? And it adds to the viscerality of the band, right? A lot of people think Brian Garris is a shitty frontman, and I'm like, nah, dude. He's like the secret weapon. He's like the reason. He's like probably the biggest reason why this band is as popular as they are, because he just has such a unique voice. And again, it's visceral. It's like beyond just like how heavy the riff is, or, you know, how hard as fuck the lyrics are, or how edgy the lyrics are, or how fucking blown out and compressed the production is. It's also about like just like the sheer viscerality that comes out of that Brian Garris guy. Like I don't know what the fuck happened. Something happened in that dude's life to where like this is what he does now. He makes music that sounds like this, and he's getting nominated for Grammys for it. So God bless. Gee whiz. And that's Knocked Loose. You won't go before you're supposed to. Pretty good record. I'm a little burned out on Knocked Loose. Like, I do understand the Knocked Loose fatigue that's out there. Believe me, I get it. I'm a little fatigued on them. But I had to buy this record, okay? I had to buy all the dope Knocked Loose albums. This one, Tearing the Fabric of Life, and A Different Shade of Blue, right? Basically everything that they've done since, like, the first album. First album's pretty good, but like I'm super burned down on that first album. I've just listened to it so many times. I'm like, maybe someday I'll buy that on CD, but not today. Anyway, you know, there's a lot more shit that I could talk about, but this is a long ass video. It's probably gonna take a long ass time to upload. So until then, you know, stay hard. You know, stay fucking. Stay chill, you know, it's January. Bundle up, stay warm. I'm on the East Coast, so we just got through that fucking snowstorm. God damn, that shit was crazy. Yeah, try not to get lost out there.